We're getting married. We are disruptive. We are entrepreneurs. We are unconventional. We are selling tickets to our wedding. When this first came out, Cristy, you've known me long before I was even Marley Jax, and before being with Steven, you were not shy in saying, what are you doing?
I was really so self-righteous and so indignant. How can you be so selfish? I didn't see it until you explained it. And then I was embarrassed that I would think different.
The average couple's going to go into debt a significant amount of money to get married.
Instead of buying us a toaster, we don't need that, but we would love for you to contribute to your seat at the table, and any money left over, we want to put towards the down payment on our house or for our honeymoon. What we're creating is an experience. Today on the show, we have Cristy Code Red, author, entrepreneur, retired professional boxer, also dog mom to Hazel, honorary auntie to our kids. So fun to have you here, finally.
I know. Well, and I think I invited myself on here.
You do that. You have that.
I had no problem doing that. I was like,
invited herself on my vacation.
Yes, I did. I tried to come to Disneyland with you guys. I was like, anybody else coming? Like non-family members?
Cristy, you don't even like.
But I said, but I like you. Yeah.
In crowds, I don't know how that would go. Would that test our friendship?
No.
Okay, great.
I would totally relax. I would totally turn into be cool about it.
Do you like roller coasters?
Well, I mean, no. But I like your kids.
That's true.
Yeah. So I like you. I know, but I would just, it would have been fun. But I have no problem. I think I texted you and was like, hey, I got a few thoughts. And you said, why don't you come on the podcast? And so this was good.
This is perfect. So for context, for everyone listening, Cristy went from food stamps to over $10 million. So you know what it's like to disrupt.
In 3 years.
In 3 years. Yeah. You know what it's like to disrupt. You know what it's like to build something from scratch, to also build something on your own that people may or may not believe in, especially you starting from where you were. And it's so cool that we've grown in our businesses together and in life together. You and I knew each other while we were both previously married. You supported me and encouraged me. You not pushed me. You were like, you date that guy, Steven. He's amazing. What are you doing, you idiot?
For the ones of them.
That's right.
No, I remember when I was like, oh, Steven's he asked me out, and you were like, I don't think you said this, but it felt like what are you, stupid? Steven's amazing.
I remember that. We were at breakfast at Elmer's and we were talking about that. And I was like, oh, wow. I mean, I saw the potential, but we didn't know back then. We weren't quite sure yet.
Sure.
So
I had a lot of healing to do. I was still recovering from my divorce and stuff.
What year was that? How long is it?
2020.
2020.
2020?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. I've often said that this is what I want in a relationship, is what you guys have.
Nice.
I truly think that there are very few people that actually, I don't care what you people say, actually find their soulmate, their true person. I think you can make it work. I can make it work with Steve. I can make it work with John. I can make it work with Brian. But to find somebody who deeply connected to the soul is rare, and I think you guys have it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I do. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's funny because I tried to get out there and date, but I was so clear. I'm like, no, this is exactly what I want. And it was just swipe. I'm not into this at all. Marley, swipes on Marley. It just went constantly back. Yeah.
It just took me some time to come around to.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now we're getting married.
We're getting married.
Yeah.
Which is why we're here, right?
Because we are doing something. I mean, we are disruptive. We are entrepreneurs. We are unconventional. We are selling tickets to our wedding. And when this first came out, Cristy, you were not shy in saying, what are you doing?
We were walking down the sidewalk, I think, going to breakfast when you first told me. And I remember all that was going through my mind was all the things I wanted to say. I was really so self-righteous and so indignant and so I was getting ready to just let you have it with both barrels. Cause I had to stop you from ruining everything. You have lost your ever loving mind if you think this is and I was really loaded for bear. Wow. And it was building up, not building up in a weird way. I was just really had had rehearsing it in my mind. And I was like, I'm not going to say anything unless she asks. And you didn't ask. And I'm glad, but man, I was really mad. I was really mad about this whole thing.
I'd be very intimidated getting feedback like that from you because I respect you so much.
Yeah.
And also you don't hold back when you believe in something, which
I respect about you a lot.
Is why it's important, the feedback that you give, because you know that it's not just it's not just coming off the top of your...
And it's love. And I love you so very much that it wouldn't be to be mean. But I felt a little bit mean in myself. I don't know. I felt angry and I felt just so mad that you would do this at first. You know, obviously all of this is just at first, you know. And I was just like, how can she do this? This is she. I know, Stephen, we don't talk all the time. When I say she, it's because, like, you know, how can she do this? How can you be so selfish? Are you serious, Mar? You know, and I was very angry and disappointed, and I just didn't understand.
Yeah. Well, tell me more about that. Like, what did it trigger for you? Yeah. Why were you so angry? How did you feel? Go ahead.
And don't feel like you have to hold back, because we've heard a lot.
Oh, I'm sure you've heard it all.
Love and a lot of not love as well.
Sure.
You know, so.
Yeah. I felt it at first, that it was, I think the biggest thing that I felt was that you were just, at first, it was, they wanted to make money. It was a money grab. That's the very first money grab, you know. Now, listen, I've been to both of your events, and I know you guys put on nice events. And so I knew it was going to be nice. I was like, well, somewhat, it's going to be nice. You know, I know it's going to be nice. I know it's going to be top notch. But I was like, really? Like, we're turning this into a money grab? What? Can't we not do the funnels just once? Can't we just be normal?
Can't we keep it
Can't
sacred?
we just do can't we keep it sacred, you know?
The record.
And normal. And I was like angry and disappointed because I thought it was a circus act and that you were making a mockery of a sacred thing. And that it was like, we can't just do this with all of us just sitting, you know, and a part of me was angry because now I'm not going to be a special person at your wedding. I'm going to be one of 1,000 people. And if it was a regular wedding that was just a handful of people, that I would be one of them. Me, Russell would be one of them. He's your dear friend. I don't know. I throw out names. I really don't even know anybody else. Me and Russell. That's all who matters anyway. It's all that matters anyway. And it would be a small, tight knit group. So I felt that you would, like, with selling tickets, anybody and everybody can go. And then it would take away from the fact that I am special. Well, I know that's not true because I came to your dress showing. I came to your dress fitting. You know, you asked me, and of one of only 3 or 4 people that we helped you pick out. So there have been things that I've been included in. I know I'm special. I know I'm loved. But at first I had this questioning thing where I was like, what am I, just another number to you? You know, and so that was all initial. I was angry. I was hurt. I was looking forward to this. And then now it's going to be a circus act, and everybody's going to be there, and they're all going to try to show off, because we go to these events and all of these guys are high level earners, you know, and they are like my $10 million trophy. These guys have earned, there's $100 million plaques on the wall, you know. And so I would be, especially in your group, because there are some really high level, high value people that run in your circles that I knew would be there. And it would just be I don't know if I can say this. I'll say it. Jesus, forgive me. A pissing contest of people that are just trying to show off. Well, I do that. I don't like that. You know, I would be there because I want it to be focused on you. And I don't want it to be, how can we sell more of Code Red weight loss to so-and-so? And, you know, so I just had the wrong perception. I had the wrong idea. I had this wrong thing built up in my mind. I didn't understand it until you finally explained it to me.
But you're not the only person, because that is often the first initial reaction of, you're selling tickets to your wedding? What? This is a money grab. Like, even my grandfather sent me a long email of like, what are you doing? What a money grab? And my response to that is, a money grab is when there is money with no exchange in value or experience. And what we're creating is an experience. And often people bring a gift that's $100 or $200 per person that attends, and our ticket is actually less than that. We've even had people being like, why is your ticket so cheap? And we'll get more into this, of like, our wedding right now is a case study because I want to teach this to other couples, because financial conflict is the number one cause of strain, number one cause of divorce. And what if we could solve that before they get to the wedding, which often people are spending enough that they could put into a house on that special day. So
yeah. And your fear of that was my original one as well.
Yes. Oh, really? Oh, that doesn't sound
for so long.
This was a very hard decision, and it was certainly triggering as well to me to even think about this, because we joked about it for years. We're like, ha ha, that'd be so funny. And then we were like, what if I had to overcome some of the feelings of like, my biggest thing is I want to preserve the sanctity of marriage. Like, honestly, and again, sorry to everyone else, but screw having an audience. Who cares? Let's go have something that's special. It's just us. I will absolutely be selfish on that day. It's our day. I want to make sure it's our, and like the scenario that we ran into though was that we have big followings on the internet, and all these people started like, can I come? Can I come? Can I come? And it's like, yes, but it's another mouth. It was another, and we're like, oh my gosh. So it's not a money. We're trying to just break even on the thing where it's like, and then suddenly it was like, let's have a big party. And with our backstories, we both, have been through previous marriages, all the honor to them. But we wanted to do a wedding that was like, what's the most us that we could go do? And the only way we could do that was with a big party, a lot of fun people, and being able to, please don't buy us a toaster, just pay for your boat and meal. Is kind of where this came from.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I went through that. Yeah. It was hard.
We were like, yes, let's do it. No, it's not. Let's like, we went back and forth so many times.
It's a hard, weird decision.
Yeah.
But Marley, you are the master sales person, and you explained it. And I was like, then I went through this anger with myself.
Really?
Because then
roller coaster.
Yeah. Believe me, I have been through the roller coaster with this wedding, because I was like, I am so embarrassed at myself. Embarrassed because I didn't see it until you explained it. And then I was embarrassed that I would think different. I was like, Marley loves me. Why would you question that just because there's 1,000 people there that the love that they have for me is any different? And then I was like, it makes so much sense. And then I was mad because I think I'm a hotshot entrepreneur and I should and look at what I've done. And I didn't even see the forest for the trees. And I was super embarrassed that I didn't see all that before you had to explain it to me. And then I was like, Cristy, you screwed up. You're dumb, And then I was mad for being angry.
Aww.
Yeah.
What part in the explanation was it that made you click and go from being totally against it to now being like, oh, this is a whole new concept? And one of the ways that we've described this is everything is crazy until it is proven. People are called crazy until they are then a genius. And look at things like Uber and Airbnb and Bitcoin. Hey, let's get in a car with a stranger that isn't licensed. What? Why would you do that? Let's stay in someone's house overnight instead of a hotel. Let's trade imaginary coins on the internet. And now it's just normal. And that's what I hope that we can create with weddings, that it's an option. Because of course we'll have people being like, well, if you can't afford to get married, then maybe you shouldn't get married. Of course, sure, that's something to consider. Or have a smaller wedding, of course. But you can stay in a hotel or you can stay in an Airbnb, and it's just another option. And one more thing I'll add to this is again, we're the case study. The things that we're discovering along the way, we've learned so much. We're talking with brands and other wedding businesses and helping them to make more money as part of the wedding and a part of connecting with other brides and grooms in the future too, which we can talk more about too. But like Capitalist Pig, we're all about get rich, give back and solving problems for profit. And what I thought was just like, help brides to break even on their wedding day is actually helping more businesses around it too.
Totally. There were two things that finally sold me on it. The first thing was when you said, we don't want gifts from people. Instead of we want to forego the gifts and instead just pay this ticket price or however you want to pay, fee, entry, I don't know, whatever word you want to attach to it, pay this price, cover your own kind of in exchange for a present. And I was like, oh geez, presents are pretty expensive. The second thing that sold me on it was when you said, no present, instead buy a ticket. Mm-hmm. The second thing that sold me on it was you said the amount of money that people spend on entertainment this is going to give more entertainment for less money. Now, for those of you who do not know, I live at the top of the Grove Hotel next to Esther Simplot, the richest woman in Idaho, worth $4 billion. Wow. Yeah. And I see everything. The Grove Hotel is the nicest hotel in Boise. It's centrally located right downtown Boise. I have a gorgeous condo. It's absolutely the dream life if you like that downtown living. I see everything. I have a dog. I got to walk my dog all the time. I'm up at 4. I'm out, I know the hustle, the bustle. I see I see the hockey games. I see people spend money on hockey games, tons of money, because I get free tickets being an owner. And I see the price of the ticket when they hand me my free one. It ain't cheap. Yep. Okay. It ain't cheap. I see the amount of money they spend on food down at the Trillium or downtown. I see all the restaurants on 8th Street. It is packed down there. I see all the drinking, the concerts. We just had, what's that guy? Kevin Hart. We just had Kevin Hart here like 2 weeks ago. I see all of it. And I see the money that people spend on entertainment. Yeah. And they walk away with what? What do they have to show for it? A hangover? For a fraction of the cost, they can come and have a wonderful weekend with all of us at a festival. I loved when you called it a festival. So when you brought up the entertainment factor, and I was like, wait a minute, Cristy, hold on. You see what people spend money on, and it's hundreds of dollars a night for just a regular couple versus this whole 3-day event. Come on, that just makes sense.
Yeah. It's not a donation just because I asked for it. It's, you're coming to it. And some people don't like weddings. Some people are like, I would never buy a ticket to a wedding. I don't buy baseball tickets. It's just not my thing.
Exactly.
There was absolutely an audience for it. For me, I personally love weddings. I love helping people start their life off and seeing their love between them. Like, I don't think you've gone to as many weddings because we've talked about this because even in planning a wedding, he's like, what do they usually do? But it's so sweet to see them on the best day of their life and be able to witness that. And then on top of that, be in the celebration. And usually there's, a performer or a band or a dance or, good food. Like, I just love that. And then on top of that, for our wedding, we're doing a charity rehearsal dinner. We're doing a relationship day where we're bringing in experts to speak on relationships. And then the morning after, we're doing a biohacking brunch, which is so us, and we think it's fun. But there's definitely people that are like,
that's weird.
I don't need to come to, I don't like that.
They're in town anyway. They might as well learn.
But you don't have to buy a ticket.
Yeah,
it's totally fine.
Totally.
It was funny because we were like, you don't have to come to this thing. Some people are just, we understand that it's a triggering concept.
And we just agree with it.
And we're like,
so weird.
Fine. We were just planning on eloping. So if you want to come to a cool party, just cover your meal. It's kind of.
Well, there you go. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
But here's where I'm running into problems now.
Tell me.
So do you know how personalized license plates? My personalized license plate says self-made. SELFMDE, something like that. And it's easy. You can figure it out in half a second. I believe that if you cannot figure out a personalized license plate in 3 seconds, it's a stupid license plate. You should not have to explain a personalized license plate. If it says Tanner's mom, TNZRMMO, and you're like, what is Tanner's mom? Look, it's a stupid license plate. So here I am now that I'm totally sold on this one. I'm like, I tell everybody about it. Yeah. So I was just in Kentucky visiting my sister, taking care of family business. I'm in the car with her. Now I'm 49. She's 51. She worked for Code Red. She was my COO for 5 years. So she understands a little bit business, not like us. Sure. So I thought, I don't know what I thought. I didn't think this. And I tell her, and I explain to her, I take 7 minutes to explain this whole thing with vigor and excitement. And the car is quiet. And she says, quietly, I hate it, sis. And I said, what? I absolutely hate this, sis. So here's the problem I'm running into is having to explain it to people. Yeah. And so I'm like, crap, where are we at? But if you think of Uber and Airbnb, I'm sure that they first came up with their idea and they first you stay in someone's house. You stay in someone's house. No, hear me out on this. And they had to explain it. Now, I would never call a cab. Call a cab. Right. I'd be like, this is a Toyota Corolla coming down the road. That's us. Yeah. It's, it's heavy.
There were protests against Uber.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I right now we're in the explaining to people phase. And I don't know, I'm mad about that. I'm mad because I'm like, can't you see? And I'm thinking, all right, so now are we marketing this wedding idea to entrepreneurs? Because it's not hard to sell an entrepreneur on this idea.
You found also, yeah.
But trying to sell a Korean vet on the idea, I'm just like, so I got to talk to these people differently because I tried to explain it to my dad and he didn't even respond. Like, I don't even know if I don't know if he was even listening. And so I don't know how to, because I'm all excited and big, vigorous, but having to explain it has been frustrating. And then I'm like, dude, I'm not that bad of I'm not like Marley, but I'm not that bad of a salesman. Like, what's wrong with me? Am I not saying it right? But I know I am. Yeah. And people just aren't, not everybody is getting it.
Yeah.
And it's been hard.
We found that exact same pattern that if someone's in business or they've tried anything, they're like, yeah, that makes total sense. Sure. But if people aren't, they're like, what is wrong with you? Mess up the sanctity of marriage. One of the ways that I've kind of been overcoming that, I don't think I'm good at it yet, but is pointing out that we're actually not inventing this at all. It's just not it's not normal to Western culture. We've actually had people who are in our audiences in other countries say, yeah, that's like totally normal. Like, and we're like, really? Because over here we look psycho. And they're like, no. People will literally get married because, and it's that bad reason to get married, but, and people will come and they bring money. They give.
Vietnamese do it.
Yeah, right. There's other cultures that kind of do a flavor of this already. It's just not here. And so it's a shocking concept. Yeah.
Well, and
of course, wedding businesses, half of them love it, half of them hate it. We get that, but.
Yeah. Really? Is that kind of what you're finding?
Yeah, because some of them are like, this is a threat to our business model and all this stuff. And but we looked it up. The average couple is going to go into debt a significant amount of money to get married. So you start the marriage off in debt, and then you go get a house in debt, and then you go to car in debt. And it's like financial strain is such... It's the number one cause for divorce and conflict.
Yeah. And you're like, let's solve this problem.
Yeah, let's at least, we're not trying to get rich off this thing. It's just, let's just break even, let's have a party and just celebrate the day.
And bring it back to it takes a village. Like, weddings used to be that like grandma would make the food and the uncles would, be the band or the entertainment or whatever. And so for us, like we're getting brands that want to be integrated. And even for us, like some of our vendors, I've traded some things with them. I
saw that.
And like our photographer, we traded and we're building him a funnel. Our vendor, I started doing his social media. He started getting calls the same day. And we're getting our venue for free. And, some people, the objection will be, well, that works for you because you have these skills. Yeah. Well, what skills do other people have that I can also just coach them through? Or is their sister-in-law a photographer that, maybe there's some other trades or something there? Like, and it doesn't have to be trades. I think the three ways that people can monetize or, reduce expenses on their wedding is selling tickets. And again, people have asked like, well, but that's you guys and you guys have an audience. And I'll still say though, like the majority of the people that are coming to the wedding, we know them right now. Yeah. And of course, we're in the last push before like the last minute sales that maybe we'll get some new people too. But the majority of people we know.
I said to my sister, but she traded out with the vendor. She did some social media with the vendor. He made more money just off her help than he ever did from how much she paid for it. That excites me. And they're just staring straight ahead. Yeah. Chirp, chirp. I'm like, don't you see it?
Yeah.
Don't you see it? It's better than money. It's better than money. Yeah. The guy's getting booked out now because of you, because of your trade out. Well, win-win.
For future brides and grooms that want to do this, if they create the wedding funnel that we have weddingfunnels.com, we have paidforweddings.com. We want to teach you how to do this. The way that you sell any product or any event is there has to be an experience, a story, a reason, a why. And so for them, like, I'm going to help them to write their copy on their page of like this. Basically, they have a website for, I thought of calling it a wed site.
That's actually smart.
Like, do I trademark that? I don't know. On their invitation website is like, hey, we're getting married and it would mean the world for you to join us on this day. And here's a bit of our story. And included in the story is we want to do things differently. And instead of buying us a toaster, we don't need that, but we would love for you to contribute to your seat at the table. And any money left over, we want to put towards the down payment on our house or for our honeymoon. And for someone that I love, I'd be like, of course. And maybe I would even be like, I'm still going to bring you a gift if it's someone that you're close enough with. But if the story is included with it, you can't sell anything without a story. Like, how many funnels have we made that if it's just like, hey, buy my thing because I think it's cool,
Yeah, it doesn't work.
No, that doesn't work like that. So the same thing with this event. Now, when it comes to the invitations still need to seem personal, because what you just said too, of like, well, I'm just going to be a number in a crowd now here because they want to make money from this. No, the invitations need to still be, I think people can still send wedding invitations, maybe send a video, call them. I'm going to send this thing to you. We're doing something different. Do you want to be involved in it? Like there still has to be the elements of keeping it sacred and keeping it intimate with the guests that you're inviting.
Which doing this in that we've had to be very careful to make sure that it's always about that.
Yeah.
And not about, Because the other thing I ran into with this was, I think I've done 34 live events. I've done so many events.
In this year, 2025?
No, just in general.
Throughout his career.
I've done so many.
Wow, that's exhausting.
But you get people to show up, by the way. It's hard to get people to show up. I see your crowds. I'm like, he's got that place full. I was doing that this year.
Well, so I didn't want to show up on the wedding day feeling like I was checking in for another day of work.
Yes.
Because it's what we do. And also it's like, I didn't want, as soon as there's exchange of money, there has to be something of value back. And so that's when I was like, oh man, how do we talk about that part? And what's been helpful, and people don't realize, I didn't realize either until we started looking around at this, that there's already sites and apps where people who are not entrepreneurs will go, what do they call it? It's like, hey, we put a web page up. We know this because we were trying to buy some of their .coms because we like the .coms. Hey, this is our wedding story. This is how we got together. If you want to click right here, this is our honeymoon fund, right?
Yeah. What Honey Fund was a company.
This is already a thing. Sure. Yeah, it's already a thing. We're just kind of...
We're changing the order of it.
If I could go back and maybe release it with slightly different verbiage, though, I think it'd be more towards that because it's not as like, what, they're selling tickets to the wedding?
But that's definitely the hook.
How is this not logical when you just say to somebody, instead of a toaster, we're just asking you to cover your meal?
Yeah.
How can someone not get on board with that?
Yeah. And then the people that are coming, you actually know that they're coming and you know that they care. Because there's some people that they feel obligated to go to a wedding.
Yeah.
Don't come if you don't like weddings. Like, I will not be offended. Of course, I would love to spend time with you, but we can go to dinner sometime else.
Yeah.
But I also had a friend of mine that she was like, gosh, where were you when I got married? Because I had all these people RSVP, and then 2 weeks ahead, a bunch of people dropped out, and I still had this huge bill to pay for the catering.
Yeah. It's funny how much of it it's actually solved, but it's definitely been a weird mental shift for people to go through.
Yeah.
And it does, unfortunately, take a little bit of explaining. So, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. It makes so much sense to me now. And I know that, Marley, you've gone through a roller coaster of emotions, and I'm so glad you started doing your daily, day 11, day 7. And I like the way you do it. Of course, I've told you this before, but I'm going to say it for the people in the back. I love the way you do videos because you tell stories quickly. You just clip right through your story and you stay on track. And I love listening to it because it's you're easy to listen to, for me anyway. And you did great videos. Your facial expressions are fun. Of course, your edits are really great, they're top notch. And so that's been really fun. But at first, you were kind of being a crybaby. And I think I called you about it. I called you on about it. I say, hey, you want to disrupt the market, then suck it up and take the hits.
I love that you said it.
And you did. And you took it like a man. You did. You took it and you said, well, you know what? Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, guess what? This sucks, but you're pioneering this whole idea.
Yeah.
And we're all going to look back and we're going to laugh at this, and you're going to be rich.
Honestly, I mean,
you're going to help so many people.
When I bought wedding funnels, I posted the screenshot. It was like, I am going to be a billionaire. And what was so exciting when we first started this, and it really kind of started as a joke, like when we saw the $650 cake cutting fee. Did I tell you about that? Yes. And that's how it all started. Was we went to this venue, and on the quote was $650 just to cut the cake, not even including the cake. And we were like, what the heck?
I was like, can I cut it? And she's like, no.
No, you can't.
Oh.
And I get, okay, there's plates and it actually takes, effort and things to do that. Like, okay, but maybe just roll that price into something else so that people don't feel like, what the heck?
He's got nickel and dimed like crazy.
And so that was really the villain in the story. Mm-hmm. And I started posting about it and being like, wow, this is so crazy. Other people were like, yeah, weddings are crazy. Oh gosh, this industry is crazy. And then I was like, I've always thought people should just sell tickets to their wedding. Wouldn't that be funny? Ha ha. And then the comment sections blew up with like, yes, I love that. What, you guys should do that. And okay, well, hypothetically, if I did that, how much would you buy a ticket for? And I was shocked when some people said $1,000. And I was like, whoa, that wasn't what I was expecting at all. Yeah. But it started by tiptoeing into it and validating with the audience. And then when it came time to launch the funnel, and this is part of what we learned that I would do differently. Like, you have to still make the invitation personal and intimate and not just like a product launch. But yeah, with anything. And I even asked, Kedrick, who just got married to our videographer, he's like, I had to bully people into RSVPing because people do just naturally wait until last minute. And so that was a really good learning experience for me, because that's what I'm going to have to teach future brides too.
Yeah.
But you have taken some serious hits with some hateful. I've been reading your comments, man. I mean, the other day, a wedding planner put gross bleh on your thing, and I was like, oh, You have no room to talk with your 1,700 little followers. What have you done to disrupt this industry? Why don't you worry more about going and getting more business than hating on someone else? Like, I can't believe. So I'm really proud of your grit. You have just dug your heels in and said, no, I'm right. I know we're onto something. We're going to see this through to the end. I know this is going to be the thing that disrupts the industry. I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to stick to my guns on that.
I'm going to stick to it. And because I really believe that there's this like universal, I don't know, there's ideas floating around. These creative ideas just get like plopped into your head. And if we don't do it, someone else will, and it will suck for them too, but they will get all the glory. So we are going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've always thought, because of the two of you being so high profile, how would you control the crowds at your wedding? How would you? We've been talking about this for years. How many times have we sat in Elmer's and talked about your wedding? I mean, how are you gonna get that crowd down, Mar? I mean, you're gonna get it down to 100 people. How could you choose 100 people with your high profile, the two of you? You need to have armed guards there. Like, we really, I know that we don't show your kids online because we just we protect the kids, So it's interesting that I thought, how are we gonna get this crowd down? So you're already high profile. You already have a ton of people who want to come anyway. Let's make it something that gives people a ton of value, as well as I'm so excited about seeing people. People I haven't seen in a while, people that I can network, not even network. I don't even care about that much anymore because I just kind of don't care. I just want to see these folks. Yeah. These are people who are very special, that give a lot to are masters of their craft. Not everybody needs to be a master of their craft to be special. Okay, I get that. Disclaimer, I get it, people. I just admire there are certain people in your circles that have done phenomenal in their area of expertise and deserve a lot of respect. I get to see them. I get to see them and I get to shake their hand. I get the pictures with them. I mean, it's going to be an all-star lineup of some of the coolest folks you've ever seen come. Yeah. And now we don't have to narrow it down and have people's feelings hurt.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, you think about the nature of, if we were just going with the straight marketing mind on this, it's like, we sell products for the really hot traffic, and then warm is totally different, and then cold's really different. I mean, selling tickets to a wedding is already for the hottest of the hot traffic. Closest, they're the ones that are going to be the most interested in this anyway. We have had people who will just go buy a ticket that we've never met before, and that's totally fine, but it will mostly be people who have already, been following us for a long time anyway, and that we kind of know, and that's great. Yeah,
when I look at the list of people so far, like, I might not have met them all in person, but they're people that I know their names. I've talked to them on the internet for years. And also with internet friends, it's like you forget. Sometimes you haven't met them in person because we see each other in our day-to-day on these little screens.
One of the problems that we started running into too, and we were like, all right, let's start planning the wedding. We sat down and started writing a list of, who we're going to invite. And, and it was already such a big list by a certain...
Can't even imagine.
And that's when we were like, oh my gosh, like, we could go pay for it and we could, but man, how can we just be entrepreneurial about it and just solve the problem and come up with creative ways that would pay for it? And it's
do you guys remember that old Steve Martin movie, Father of the Bride?
Yeah.
Where they said, okay, give me the final number. And he was breaking up on the phone, and he was the wedding planner was trying to tell Steve, and he was breaking up. So he said 150 ahead. And he goes, I'm sorry, you're breaking up. It sounds like you said 150 ahead. And he goes, no. And he said, and this was back in this was 1990. Yeah. And he goes, no. He goes, good. I was going to kill myself. He said, I said 250 ahead. And he goes, we're not letting more than 100 people in this wedding. Yeah. So it is like that. And you guys are taking that stress, although I say taking that stress out of it. I mean, it's still going to be, I wondered about that level of pressure and stress to kind of perform or to provide value, but just us getting to be together is going to be just getting to be together. It's like a reunion, of the coolest people you've ever seen are going to be there. If you've ever been to either one of your events, they're just the coolest folks ever. The hotel, I see them in the lobby of the hotel when Russell does ClickFunnels stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And it's all the people with ClickFunnels stuff. And it's like, it's going to be fun. So even if you don't provide the value that you do, which you are, it's still so much fun. And all you're asking for in exchange for it, instead of a toaster, cover your meal. I love that. Yeah. I love that.
And something we haven't even mentioned is, I know I've talked about this in content, is we've partnered with Village Impact. So it's cost $15,000 to build a classroom in Africa. We went to Kenya with them 2 years ago.
Wonderful experience.
And it's absolutely life-changing. We want to be able to go back. And what's cool is when you build a classroom, you get to name the classroom. So we want to be able, like this wedding, to be able to put a name on top of a classroom that we get to go back to Africa and build with them.
Yeah.
And so how cool that for other people, for other brides and grooms, I would love for them, for their profit to be towards their honeymoon or a down payment on their house. And some of the things that we've said is like, well, we have the house, we have the honeymoon, we have the business, maybe they'd also put it towards starting a business. So we want to build a classroom. How cool is that?
Well, then let me ask you guys both this. Are both of you, as the days go on, becoming more and more comfortable with this idea? Like, obviously you're 100% sold on it. Are there any hesitations for either one of you this far in the game?
Totally.
Oh, totally? Really? Not so more Steven than Marley.
No. I still think, because sometimes I'm like,
so you're faking it, Marley, because you look pretty confident online.
It's more like,
well, you just called me a crybaby.
So I know you were being a crybaby for like 2 seconds.
it's more like, there's 2 or 3 industries I've been able to go and do some kind of disruptive things in and really rock the boat. And it's kind of almost like I'm remembering what some of those things I went through, what that took personally. Mm-hmm. And so I've had to, all right, we just accept the fact this is weird. We accept the fact it's not normal. We accept the fact that a lot of people are not going to like it, but doing it anyway, and just kind of having that thick skin going in. But it doesn't mean that we don't have that little like, we'll still turn to each other sometimes and be like, that's great. Yeah, we're selling tickets to our wedding. Like, whoa.
Yeah. One of my daily videos was a video of me going, this is really hard. People are talking crap about me. There's people that I want to come to the wedding that haven't responded. And would they come if it was a free ticket, even though $57, I feel like I believe in the price. It's easy. Right. So I'm like,
more than that, down meal now.
There's been part of that for me that I'm like, are there friendships being questioned around this? I mean, even you said at the beginning too.
Yeah.
So, we have thoughts, we have moments with that, but then there's also moments where people in the comments section or people that I meet or even strangers that are like, this is so amazing. I want to do this. This is going to change the industry. Or also think about our venue and our photographer and people that are going to make more from this than what we would have just paid them. And I really believe in it. We had a call yesterday with a woman who has a contact with Good Morning America and the Today Show and People Magazine. And I don't know for sure. I mean, how amazing if that happens. But one of the funny things she said is she's like, you are open to criticism on this, right? And we're like,
people aren't going to like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We know.
Yeah.
We know.
We know it's going to.
But again, just like I said before, if we don't do it, someone else will, and people will feel crazy because they're doing something that hasn't been done before until it is proven, and then they are called a genius. And maybe we will get there, or maybe it'll still just be crazy and we'll be like, wow, we did something cool. And there was an audience that loved it. And no matter what, we're going to have an amazing wedding day.
Yeah. I just don't want to turn our wedding into a business. That's the thing that I was like, because I wear a different emotional hat, when you go to start working for the day and you're going out there and trying to conquer the hill and all that stuff. And I was like, I don't want that vibe or energy on the wedding day. And so I've had to find a new mentality internally where I'm like, it's the same skill set for a totally different purpose, and be able to really own, we're going to do all this work ahead of time to make sure it's awesome for everyone. But then on that day, I'm going to be selfish. I'm not on stage. I'm not presenting a product. I'm not, and
it's just going to be Steven.
Yeah.
You're just going to be Steven and Marley and not the capitalist and not the performer. Because you get on stage, you've been on the biggest stages in the world and it's a different guy.
It's a different, you're acting to some degree. And I was like, I want to show up in just the true authentic self. So it's going to be probably a different way I'm thinking that people will see me as well. Yeah. And I've had to mentally just make that shift. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But I can see, because for a while I was kind of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Let's not go use these skills or these internet skills. And well, that kind of defeats the point too. So
one thing is that both of you are built for this. That's for sure. And for you to give up, and I'm glad you're not, but for you to let people run you out of this idea because of because of some mean, which is what entrepreneurs do. They just boo. That would not be you. Yeah. And I love that you're doing this because you're going to see it through to the end and it's going to be groundbreaking. And I'm so glad I'm front and center. And I'm so glad that you quickly were able to just sell me on it. And that taught me a lesson about, hold on, Cristy, don't be so quick to just discard something, because at 49 years old, you start to get a little more stuck in your ways. And then I wasn't as open-minded as I should have been. And then I'm like, darn it. So that's helped me take a step back and not be quite so quick to judge on other things too.
It's increased my confidence and competence too when I get feedback or backlash, because what are my options? Fight or flight, like I quit and I hide in the corner, or I say yes to the guy who said, do you want to do a Facebook Live debate on it? And I show up to it and I'm still able to receive his feedback. And if he still doesn't like it, that's okay. And there's people in the comments that don't like, and there's people in the comment section that do.
That was huge when you did that.
Oh, I said yes, but as soon as I did, I was like,
It's gutsy.
I knew that I had to do it, but I'm like, I don't know if I'm just going to get absolutely slammed. If we go on Good Morning America, are we going to get absolutely slammed in front of the whole nation? Yes. But there's also going to be people that will be impacted by it in a positive way. Yeah. And more importantly, this is us, and we are proud of what we're doing. And it is something that we are enjoying. And we always, look at our whole relationship. We look back on things and we're like, wow, look what we did. Like, that was so unconventional, but special in us.
I can tell you that you've had my back on some pretty shady things I've done. I think it was April of 2024. I posted it. I didn't think it was that bad. But it was showing an old couple in the airport that I put something over the face, so I covered up their faces. But they were metabolically absolutely diseased, and they were eating junk food. Yes, they were overweight, but that was that was number 5 down the list. There were all kinds of metabolic problems with pitting edema and all kinds of problems with their bodies. That was just that 88% of it was because of what they were eating. And so I pointed that out. I was like, look at what we're dealing with here. I got straight up canceled. I lost followers. I lost revenue. It was terrible. I was like, you were one of the only people that said, hang in there, Cristy, because you were right. And you did it in a classy way. And you weren't being mean and you weren't being heartless. You were fine. So hang in there and weather this storm. Yeah. And so I'm glad you guys are weathering the storm. And I don't mean to say it's all bad, because it's not, because obviously we're all really excited about it. And it doesn't take away from the love, and it doesn't take away from the excitement. It doesn't take away from the fact that we all get to wear pretty flowered dresses, and it's just a different approach. And now I'm fired up, excited about it. And I saw you're doing an affiliate program, and I was like, why am I not an affiliate? I was like,
send you the link.
That's amazing.
Yeah. We're big believers that and this is I think just a true principle for anything is like, if you go out and you're like, this is what I'm going to do, and then you change it because others don't like it, it means you didn't make a decision in the first place. Right. It means that I'm actually asking for permission. So it's like, when we made the choice, we're like, we're going to expect backlash. It's the same thing when I started doing this, like, I know people are going to like it, but if I go out and I change the decision because of external, decisions, and I literally am living a permission-based life, and I didn't make the choice in the first place. Yeah. So all right, we'll accept what comes with this.
On one hand, it's really cool when we open this up to the internet that people will give us our feedback. Like, I never thought we were going to do an affiliate program until people asked, and we said, oh, well, sure. And especially if some that's going towards this charity, amazing. One guy the other day asked, if I can't come in person, how much would you charge for me to have a cardboard cutout of me in the audience? And I was like, let me think about that. People have asked, can I pay for a spot in the bridal party? I'm like, so it's funny to be open to the feedback and the requests, just like any other product. Like, if we launch a course and they go, hey, could you do a module on this question? Yeah, let me think about that. But at the end of the day, it's still our wedding. It's still
right. Because somebody wanted to do it's like condoms or something. I don't know if I can say it on the line.
Okay, someone do and it's almost like, in my mind, this is how I think about it. All right, so we can have fun and play in the business skill sets and all that stuff on the outside of it. But there's this little cocoon that is kind of like, there's a boundary around it. Mm-hmm. It's the sacred spot. No, you can't sponsor our vows, which somebody asked that.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
Seriously. It's like, no, you can't buy a spot in the bride. It's like, it's not a mockery of weddings. There's a boundary.
We gotta have a line here.
Yeah, there's a line there for sure. But on the outside of that, why not have fun with it? And, if someone wants a cardboard cut out of themselves at the dinner table, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I think great photo up. Hilarious.
I know, it's so funny.
Yeah.
I think there's somebody in your comments, I said, do you want to it was a guy.
Yes.
And I said, do you want to go? Do you want to be my date for the wedding? And Margaret's like, what is this? Oh no. I was like, well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
That'd be great. I love it.
It's
Dating night, next upsell.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I think at one point you were talking about a band or something, and I said, okay, Marley, I'll sing at your wedding. You know, I was like, I sing okay. I wouldn't sing for years. It's been way too high profile, way too many phones, way too many recordings.
Go viral.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah.
Well, I actually have a request.
Oh.
At the end of this.
You didn't even prepare me. Is this Stephen doesn't even know it.
Yeah. Well, so you mentioned before about like being, that you're so happy to be like front and center. And so I was wondering if you would be my maid of honor.
Are you serious?
I remember now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Really?
Yeah. This is not a joke.
I almost let it slip. I forgot he hadn't actually asked yet. I was going to say it. It's so corner. I couldn't.
Oh, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Yes.
She said yes.
She said yes. And she said yes.
Believe me. Me of everybody. And I can't believe I was mad at you at one point. Now I feel bad. Oh, yes. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Do I get to kick somebody's ass if they talk to me? Okay, good.
That's why. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I'll be the best maid of honor. I'll try not to boss everybody around. That'll be so fun. Yes. Oh, I didn't even know you were going to have one.
Me neither.
You are both.
You are the one.
Really? That's how much you love me?
I love you so much.
I love you too. Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, I guess I better come now. Yes. You'll be, that's going to be so fun.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. We want you to, I mean, you're going to hold Steven's ring, and at the time, you're going to have to give it to me, you know?
Yes.
And,
It's very heavy.
Yeah.
take care of that.
I did.
Would love for you to do a speech as well.
Oh my gosh.
I know you like speaking.
I know. I
Great at it.
gotta be funny, and I'll do something. I thought you were gonna ask me a trivia question or something, like a political question. I mean,
You sell tickets to my funeral.
yeah, right. I know. Oh, well, that's awesome. Yes, thank you. Yes, it'll be fun. It'll be great. It'll be the social event of the season. Okay.
Special. Do you want to share who you're
Russell. Yeah. He's the only one also.
Yeah, we just have one because we also, I think I told you, like, we weren't sure if we were going to do a bridal party, and what we imagine is just like coming down the aisle will be the kids and then me, and but we would love to have you, in that front row, and during the ceremony there will be a moment to have you come up, Russell from Steven's side come up for the rings exchange, and then you get to sign our
certificate. I'm going to practice my handwriting.
Yeah.
And use my good handwriting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ready to do a speech.
how fun. Well, that's just going to be
So
so
special
great.
to have you to do a speech, knowing us, knowing our journey, that you've known me long before I was even Marley Jax, and before being with Steven, and how cool that you've seen.
Yeah, we've been through a lot of different phases together, and you've seen some tough stuff. You're still managing my YouTube channel in case I die.
I am.
And you're the executor of my will.
I am?
Well, I guess I didn't tell you that. Yes. Well, and it's a lot.
Oh, I
but
remember.
I know you can do it. I mean, I kind of asked you, but
You didn't ask, but you mentioned it, and I was like,
you said, yeah, I would do that.
I would do that for you. So I
you'd be really good
myself,
at
but I didn't know you did that. Yeah.
Well, I kind of did. Sorry. Sorry. I told the attorney, clickety clack clack, Marle. Here's her phone number. She'll handle everything.
I will.
Yeah. Anyway,
funny.
that's
We'll find this brand new information.
Yeah.
Hang out on these.
Oh no, I know.
If there are anything, I'll post this online. If there are any issues with the will, we'll be like, she said it publicly.
Yes, that's right. I know it. Yeah. Now we know. Now there's no backing out.
No. It was just so obvious, Like, who should it be? Like, it's Cristy.
Yeah.
Oh, golly, that's so cool. Because there's a lot of people that really are like you, and I'm really glad I'm like I'm the top one, people.
Yeah, she's like
Number one.
boxer.
I know.
Get out of my way.
Anyway, that's awesome.
Special.
Yeah. We're excited. This is very us. I mean, not super unconventional, but we also are too.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait to watch that back, that moment of asking you. That was so sweet.
Wow. Oh, that's so special. It's really special. Did the girls know?
No.
I don't know if they know.
Do you guys have their dresses yet?
I have them, and they're going to try them on this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazon, huh?
Some online, not Amazon, but an online
Temu dresses. No, I'm just kidding. You're like,
Shine.
Mom, the button is missing. Put it on.
That's okay.
It's okay. Hey, get down that way.
You only have to wear it.
Yeah, just have to wear it once. Take it off when the dancing starts. It's funny.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, thank you for having me on.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun.
It was fun. And I did anything I say shock you? It surprised you?
It was just interesting to hear your roller coaster that you went through.
Sure,
because I
totally.
knew you didn't like it. And there was part of me that didn't. I probably also consciously didn't ask you more because I knew you didn't like it. And there was part of me that, like, when I know someone doesn't like it,
Why?
I need to hear.
I don't need to hear your bull crap. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, there's some people that I've had to follow up with multiple times about, hey, are you coming to the wedding? You haven't responded. I know it's crazy. It's weird. And I just acknowledge it. If someone's like, and the guy that I did the Facebook Live debate with, he's, a friend of ours, we've known him for a long time. And he's like, we've known each other for a long time. Why would you ask me to pay for a ticket to your wedding? I'm like,
See, and that part's been some of the weirdness. And so behind the scenes, as this has kind of gone and unfolded more and more, it's like, yeah, we've absolutely taken an emotional knee here and there because it's,
yeah,
it is, but we don't have like, what are your colors? We don't know.
Okay.
flowers.
Okay.
Flowers.
Okay.
We don't have.
I see.
But yeah.
But yeah, it's also, like I said, increased my competence in just communicating with people that if there is an awkwardness, I'm not going to skirt around it. Let's just talk about it. Yeah. Tell me why you feel that way. Oh yeah, that's totally valid. Well, here's why we're doing this. And this is what we believe in. And if you don't, that's totally fine. But like we're proud of what we're doing.
You're really good to work through conflict. And I'm sure you are, Steve, and I just don't have as much experience with you.
Yeah.
Been a muscle I've had to grow.
Really? That's not naturally something that, are you a fight or flight?
I hid from conflict. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And I feel like in the last couple of years, I've gotten better at that.
Oh, yeah,
You've
definitely.
been a great partner in realizing that conflict isn't something that you hide from. Conflict is an invitation to intimacy. But the only way out is through. If I'm a friend, and actually this is something we were talking about earlier. We were talking with Kendrick about this, that I used to think that once we're married, then I can have some of these difficult conversations. Like I even had questions about the kids calling me mom or our life plans, our wills, the house and stuff like that. But I wasn't giving myself, I felt like, oh, it's a conflict conversation because previous relationships were like, why are you we're not going that deep yet. So that was kind of this programming. Meanwhile, it's like, no, you're getting married for those reasons. So to feel like once we get married, then it can change. Wrong. And so in some therapy, I realized I've been afraid of conflict, but it's actually the invitation to intimacy.
So I heard that before. Interesting.
So that's where now if there's a conflict, I sometimes will have to remind myself no, this doesn't mean that I'm being abandoned or outcast or that I'm wrong. This is, let's talk about it. And also, if we still disagree, we're still safe.
That's all right.
Yeah, totally.
And sometimes I'll approach conversations with that. I'll be like, hey, I have something that feels really hard to say.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Promise you'll still love me on the other side of it?
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Because then it also, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Then it also poses if someone really cares about you, and if I come to you saying, hey, I need to tell you something that feels really hard, what's your response to that? Oh, what is it? Yeah. I'm here.
Fights the container.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if my dad was quoting this when he said it, but growing up, he would always say it to me. He's like, if you measure the success of a person based on the number of hard conversations they had in life. Oh. And I was like, wow.
Wow.
Figured as a teenager, and I was like, okay. So it's just the going direct into it. Doesn't need to be combative at all. But it's kind of what we've had to practice because we do in business, but it's so much more vulnerable and intimate because it's our marriage, to practice it publicly, because when we both got divorced, from previous relationships, because we had such big followings, it felt like the divorce was so public. It's just oh, I know that you're, it's such a weird thing to go through. And so to kind of go back to that was weird, to reopen. Oh my gosh, this is now open and public, and the marriage is, it's like people are voting on whether or not they like it. And we're like, look, we're just doing it. So, Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We had that at the beginning of our relationship of people when we were still, I mean, you know this, when we were still private and not sharing that we were publicly together, people were like, why are you lying? Whoa, there's a difference between lying and just protecting our privacy.
Private, yeah. Yeah, not the same thing at all. But now it's like, it's a combo of the two, and we're learning how to navigate that. And it's funny that the public, it's like 30% of people just like dead hate it. You know, 30% like absolutely love it. And then like that middle doesn't quite know until we talk about it and explain.
Okay, interesting. I was wondering what the stats were. Okay.
Kind of what it's been.
Interesting.
Yeah. And if, who knows, if we get on like one of these shows, Good Morning America, it's definitely going to open it up so much more. Yeah. And I think the reframe of seeing conflict as an invitation to intimacy is just, I mean, that's how to go into any of these exposure. I mean, this is exposure therapy. Yeah. I had to run through the cancel culture documentary so I could walk through this.
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah.
And that was a cake. This is a cakewalk compared to that.
But it's
Maybe not. Maybe it's about the same.
No, that was really hard for sure. But because I went through that, I'm like, oh, there's parallels here. And I got through that, so I can get through this. So then what's ahead of us that we're also going to be exposed to in any other interview?
You are battle tested, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the funniest part about the PR person we were talking to. I think it was yesterday. She's like, just so you know, can you guys handle that? We're like, we've got some reps.
Yeah. We'll put our call to action at the end too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, website.com. I love that. I'm going to go buy that before you can. No, I won't do it. I won't do it. That's funny. Clickety clack clack.
Thank you so much for coming and for saying yes. She said yes.
I'm like so excited. I'm so excited.
Well, Lauren, we drop a call to action for people that want to check you out and what you do.
You know, the best way to do it is probably Instagram, at Cristy Code Red, Cristy. No H in Cristy. At Cristy Code Red is really my handle everywhere. I don't do my podcast anymore. After 6.5 years and 316 episodes, I hung it up.
Yeah.
And so the best place to follow me is at Cristy Code Red, the same place everywhere. And, you know, if I can help you, then let me know. If there's something there that I can do for you, let me know. Send me a message. I answer my own stuff. I think my content's funny. And I think it's fun to at least follow.
She did one yesterday. I have to repeat this. She did this one that the caption was like something about it being sexy when people bite their lip. And so it's this like sexy music and she's like staring at the camera. And then she goes like this.
Yeah, I go. I try. Yes, I love laughing at myself. Yeah. That's my favorite thing is making fun of myself. It is.
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah. That doesn't make me less pretty. It just makes me relatable.
So funny.
Well, you really are a serious influence on our daughters. And
good.
You so are. They talk about you. They ask about you. And I've seen, you know, behaviors and attitudes about challenges even develop since they've, you know, simple as wearing your swag or drinking from the, you know, it's been really cool to watch that just install even further. And you definitely influence them. So
it's different when I say, and I can say something that you would say, it would be the same thing. But because I'm saying it, well, Cristy Code Red says that eating meat is good. What do you mean? I just said that. I'm your dad. Yeah. Well, it's coming from Cristy Code. It's the way it is when you have kids. So I'm happy to be the kids. I love those girls. Oh my gosh.
It's totally a thing to have like the peripheral people, like for our friend Nikki, like her kids have me in their phone that they know if there's something you feel like you can't go to mom and dad about, which of course you can't for anything, you can call Auntie Marley and I will help you and we'll navigate what to do with your mom later. Like you're kind of that person that it's like, if we need something, hey, go talk to Auntie Cristy.
Yeah. Takes a village.
Yeah, it takes a village.
Yeah, I'm glad to be that. Of course, I'm trying to always be careful with what I say in front of your kids because I don't want to be that. Because, you know, me, sometimes I fly off of the mouth and say crap and I shouldn't be saying. And so I'm like, they're listening. Be careful. Choose your words carefully. But you're so open with your girls that it's the girls, ain't nothing getting by any of those girls. They don't miss much. Holy, they're very astute. Yeah. It's like, one time I said, well, you know what? I better not repeat it off. I better not, Rob. This might be an offline conversation. Anyway, they're good. I'm glad I'm in their life. So,
Good to have you.
Yeah.
Depending on when you're seeing this, if you want to join us for our wedding, you can go to crashthepartywithsteveandmarley.com. You can also go to, are you lip syncing me right now?
No, I'm fist pump.
Oh, I thought you were doing the thing where you also repeat what I'm saying. And crashthepartywithsteveandmarley.com, or also check out weddingfunnels.com if you or someone that you know wants to get married and want to be able to monetize that, break even, or if you're a brand that wants to be able to integrate, then go to weddingfunnels.com.